Good morning. This is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Wednesday, the 21st of May. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right. Okay. Yes, we're seeing a bit of a decline here, and as I've been mentioning on the notes for a couple of days, we've got a possible double top here. If we can break and convert the weekly pivot, I do like it. There's a nice clear break when you get a pattern with a support at the big pivot. Then it's a nice clear area to break and convert that, and we can get down pretty close to 5,800. Which I would like to see because it would reset the RSI on the daily charts, and also it might deliver the setups that I'm looking at on crypto. So I would love to see that. Do we have any sell signals for it? Not on these charts, but we've got them on the RTH charts, so we'll come to those. NQ, again, nice looking double top. Again, we got support basically at the weekly pivot, break and convert that, and we get down to 2750 area or a bit below. Looking at RTY, no double top here because we haven't made it back up to retest this high yet, but we do have a sell signal on the hourly. We've got hourly sell signals on SPX, on Qs, and on IWM. On YM, didn't get a sell signal here. We've got, hang on, wait a second. Possible topping action here. This could be a little head and shoulders here, actually, but if so, at this point, we'd see a little rally and then we'd go down. DAX, we have got a 60-minute sell signal fixed, and ESTX, we've got a weak 60-minute sell signal fixed, but that's reaching the possible near miss target now. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. And right, looking at the, not a lot to say on the daily chart apart from we saw a partial reset of the RSI. I'd like to see that get down to 70, and then I'd like to see a retest of the high to set up a potential sell signal, which could then deliver more of a retracement. We will see. In the short term, though, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed on the hourly on SPX, and that's halfway to the target. We've got another one on the Qs, and that's halfway to the target. And we've got another one on IWM. And that one is halfway to the target. So we've got more juice in those, and it would be nice to see some of these little level tops play out. All of these have nice little level tops, and we'll see whether those can deliver today. In terms of the 15-minute sell signals, we had one on SPX, but that's reached the possible near miss target. We didn't have one on the Qs, I don't think. Nope. And on Dire, we had one that's also reached the possible near miss target. So I'm mainly looking at the hourlies this morning. Looking at IWM again, we didn't have a 15-minute sell signal, but we've got a nice looking little level top here. Interested to see whether this plays out today, but if we're going to do that, we're going to need to see some breaks. We saw the weekly pivots hold at the beginning of the week. Those will need to break. Looking at DAX, still got a nice weak RSI 5 sell signal brewing, still making higher highs. Nikkei, still looking kind of weak, still trying to convert the 200 DMA to support. If it can do that, I'm wondering about a possible retest this high here at 42.4. So we shall see. All right, let's have a look at DX. Now DX, we've got a head and shoulders, which is broken down with a target in the 98.4 area. If this is a bear flag, and I'm looking mainly at the euro, rather than DX for whether this is a bear flag, then obviously we'd be looking for a return here down to this low here in the 97.65 area. Looking at the euro. Euro has, sorry, I'm redoing all my charts today, which is a bit time intensive, but helps me in the mornings because it means everything's in order. UUSD, IHS has broken up with a target in the 1.152 area, and this looks like a bull flag, so I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of this high. GBP, we had a flag, and that's already gone back up and retest the high. USD/JPY, where we've got 6-minute buy signal fixed, but it's not really been doing anything. We've got a breakdown with a target in the 141 area. That's it for really the interesting currencies. But I'm liking, on the basis of those, I'm liking the downside here. Sorry, I did that in the wrong color. I had to redo a lot of these this morning. For some reason, when I change the order up here, it doesn't actually carry over the text. I've got to redo all that. All right, so I've actually spent about an hour and a half doing that this morning, and I'm probably about halfway through. Okay, looking at ZB. ZB has come back and retested the low. This is potentially setting up another double bottom setup, although a smaller one. But really, I'm leaning towards seeing continuation down. We haven't quite made the obvious target on the TNX target, and really, if we have a look at the bigger picture charts on the bonds, we've got the IHS targets here, which are a little bit higher. We should see a full retest of 45.92, and we haven't, I don't think, seen one yet. Where have we got up to this morning? Not quite there. Okay, I am also looking with the TYX charts. I did the weekly chart on that yesterday because I think I need to pay more attention to it. Again, we've got a perfect rising channel here, as we've got on TNX. Unusual to have the same ones, but we do have the same ones here. And again, I'm wondering whether we might head to channel resistance, which is all the way up here. No, we don't have to do that, but I'm expecting at minimum to see a retest of 51.52. I'm looking for the same sort of setup on TNX, but on TYX, which is a 30-year yield, it's a lot closer. So I'm watching this with enormous interest because I think what happens on bonds can have a huge influence on the rest of the year. Okay, looking at CL. CL has retested this high here. We do have a potential little level top here. We haven't quite made it to the IHS target, which I've got in the 64.5 area. And of course, I've got a possible trend line here, which we could go up to. But two of the charts I moved this morning because I wanted to move them. I'm planning to do the daily charts on these and bigger picture charts on these and incorporate HO and RBOB and ZL. I'm planning to do the same with too, but I'm not quite there yet, but I'm doing these. If you can see on HO here, on heating oil, we already made the IHS target there, and we've already got a possible bear flag. Now, this is what I'm thinking we may well see forming on CL, but we've already got it on HO, and actually we've got it on RBOB too. So I'm wondering if that's gone high enough. So I'm looking at this double top and wondering whether this is going to break back down. NG is going the other way. I don't know whether it's going to continue, but we've seen a nice little rally here. We had a buy signal here. It made target. We've now got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing, but we've got a test of the weekly and monthly pivot area, and we've got a little IHS here, which is formed and broken up with a target almost back at a retest of this high here in the 3.84 area. I'm wondering whether this is going to do it, but it needs to get through and convert the monthly pivot to do it. So we'll see whether it's capable. We've got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing. It's possible it's going to reverse back to the lows and then come back and retest this low here in the 3 area. We will see how that goes. GC, we've got an IHS which is broken up at the target in the 3485 area. That's obviously a pretty good match with this flag resistance, which is the next obvious target. So I'm leaning towards that making target, but we've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed. On SI, we've broken up from the flag wedge, but again, we've got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing. Most of the we haven't seen a lot of action up in the last couple of days, but on precious metals, but most of that has been on palladium and platinum, which is very unusual because it's usually the other way around. Palladium, very nice move up. Don't have any obvious trendline resistance. Wondering about a possible little level top here when we retest this high, which would also give us a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing. On platinum, again, I'm thinking the same. Why have these two gone up, leaving gold and silver behind? I don't know. But it's interesting, and I'm watching. HG, I was thinking we'd probably see some more upside here. We've got this nice looking little falling wedge which is broken up. It's been consolidating for a couple of days here, and we will see whether this can go up again. It's been consolidating pressure over a week. Leaning towards this delivering some more upside, hasn't delivered it yet. Looking at the euro. Euro, we've got an IHS which is broken up. Oh, I've already covered that. So let's move on to KC. KC, we've got an IHS which is broken up with a target in the 392.5 area, but at the moment we're failing just below the monthly pivot. It may continue to fail. Alternatively, this could be an alternate IHS right shoulder forming. And actually, it's almost at the perfect low for that. So if we see a break up here, I'll redo that, and that would increase the IHS target to about the 395 area, I think. Okay, looking at SB. Hang on, sorry, I'm not quite in order here because I haven't recreated all the charts and redone all the text on them yet. SB, we've got a possible IHS forming on a large and rather rough-looking IHS. On CC, we've got a possible level top here and a 60-minute sell signal has fixed. Looking at ZW, ZW, you can see I'm wondering whether this is a bear flag here. We've got a weak 6-minute sell signal fixed. We've got a full 6-minute sell signal brewing. So watching to see what happens here. But if we see a hard reversal, we could be heading back into a retest of the low. On corn, Again, wondering about a bear flag here. And we've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed on soy. Soy, we've seen a bit of a retrace here, might be forming a topping pattern, but if we are, then the obvious place to get down to would be about 1037 and form a head and shoulders, right shoulder there. But we haven't quite made that area. On CT, we're trying to break up from a little level bottom. Key thing is, can it get over this weekly pivot and monthly pivot area? If it can, then it resumes the uptrend. If it can't, then we fell back into the lows. 60-minute buy signal has reached the possible near miss target. On lumber, I'm leaning towards the short side. We've seen a bit of a move up here. It kind of looks like a bear flag. Live cattle, still wondering if we might see a bit more downside. Possible rough head and shoulders forming. Lean hogs has gone back to wedge support and held it perfectly. So obviously, either this breaks down or we're probably heading back into wedge resistance, which I've got currently in about the 105.85 area. So we shall see. All right, great. In that case, let's have a look and see if we've got any questions. Hang on. Yeah, no worries, mate. Okay, brilliant. In that case, I think that's a wrap. Basically, just a quick recap on ES. I like the 60-minute sell signals, and I like the overall tone of the week so far, and I'm quite liking the breaking down and getting through the week to pivot and making some of these double top targets for the little double tops we've got set up on ES, NQ, and RTY. And maybe we'll see that, and maybe we won't. If we do, then that could actually sort out all the negative divergence, which has been accumulating, and also it could make my targets on the cryptos. So we will see how that goes. May or may not manage that. Obviously, week to pivot was very good support at the start of the week. It may be good support now. We shall see. All right. Anyway, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care.